You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So Trump won because he knew he had smart people in his corner to tell him these topics will get you the majority vote in the electoral college vote in these states. Go with it, and he did. Smart. So, but to your point, he being able to run the country like that, I don't think so. And he's finding out right now. you
Right.
know,
Right.
I think he's finding out, but and I think he's okay. Like he was like, did you see that whole situation with him and Elon? He was like, Elon is not the president.
Right. Right. But what he's basically saying is that Elon is, you know, and
That's why I laughed. I was
yeah,
like, okay,
yeah, and see, he's acknowledging that that has been a topic of discussion. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
So he
yeah,
knows that people feel this way, and on top on top of that, right? Trump has
yeah.
never. You've had people who are obviously wealthier than Trump, and they
Oh,
have they have far more money than him, right? But he never acknowledged them. He would always lie and say that he had the most money, right?
Dad, you surprised. I want to say I know for a fact. I don't know for a fact because I can't prove it, but
Huh.
I'm willing to bet money that the owner of Salesforce and other various entities, Mark Benioff,
Yeah.
he, you know, when they were campaigning, Trump came up here
Uh huh.
and he got so much money, and I'm talking about the Bay Area, not L.A., not other parts of the South, but the Bay Area supported him
Yeah.
tremendously.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know a lot because we have a lot of millionaires. Well, you have to be a millionaire to even be happy and successful here. You got to, and you. So there's a lot of millionaires, but there's a lot of billionaires here.
Right. Right.
So he got a lot of support that way. Like so, to your point, yes, there's people that have more money than him, and arguably more smarter than him.
And you know what make you know when you're brilliant. Let me tell you what brilliance is. See, people look at IQs and everything, right? And they look at all the
Yeah.
smart people. You're brilliant when you're smart enough to know when you're not smart enough to know something, and you hire someone who is.
There you go. That's what I
You
said.
see?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trump has a smart, and you know what? Kudos to him for having that. He has smart people, very shrewd, um, very intuitive people in his corner because their focus was how are we going to get you to win,
Right.
and they realized that they check the temperature. I mean, Democrats know the temperature to an extent where they want to control the temperature.
Yes.
He checked the temperature to where he was like, what is the focus of the mass majority of people? He focused on, what did he say? He wanted to cut prices for us.
Right.
He was mad, he knew that there was a mass majority of people that were concerned about illegal immigrants coming over.
Uh huh.
He don't give two shits about any.
Because that's who he has working for him. Shit, he know he look.
Exactly.
He knows if he gets rid
That's
of the Hispanic population, now there's going to be jobs that are there, and the only workforce that could possibly fill that is another immigrant or someone black. And most blacks aren't going to do it, right?
correct.
So
Yeah.
and it's what we call in the streets, we call it the 52 fake out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we call it the 52 fake out, and we call it the overplay for the underlay. so, so
Setup, basically.
yeah. So you got all these people, man. You done frightened them. You done frightened them and made them scared, right? And now they're gonna vote for you. And now you're gonna say, hey, you know what? We can't stop them from coming. So here's the deal. This is what it is. Because it's very, very hard to do an embargo with two countries that are landlocked, right? So you're talking about placing an embargo, a tariff on Canada and Mexico, China,
Right. Right.
China, and if cars come in Japan. So now you
I feel
talk.
like that's Elon talking through his fight. I
Yes,
feel.
yes.
I
So,
feel like that's Elon's influence, by the way.
but
But go
here's the
ahead.
thing, though, Danny. I don't give a shit what Elon owns, right, and what he makes,
Mhm.
and he's worth $500 billion. But you have to deal with foreign countries because you can't make every goddamn thing that you need. And all this stuff that you have built
Oh no.
going up into space, the
Yeah.
whole bit, all that shit didn't come from the USA. So you're dealing
Yeah.
with foreign entities now. This is where we're going to hurt, and this is where the little man is going to hurt. Let's
Yeah.
say the Chinese got a car, and that car, man, is on the same level and beyond a Rolls Royce or a Bentley, right? And that car cost roughly $40,000, in Chinese money to American money, right? But now if
Oh
you
wow. Yeah.
yeah, but now you tax it and you send it over here. Now that car is going to cost anywhere between 100 and 150,000 dollars. So
Right.
so now the
Exactly.
things that we were paying cheap for, man, everything on Amazon is getting ready to go up because damn near all of Amazon's business, at least 60. No, I take that back. At least about 40% of Amazon's business is outside of the U.S.
Oh yeah.
You
For
know,
sure.
so
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
so we're gonna eat that. We're gonna eat that,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean. And that's where taxes and everything is gonna go up. So here's what I'm saying. It goes back to what I was talking about with that pie. That's 360 degrees. You cannot make the pie bigger. You can't make the circle larger, right? So
Right.
so the only thing you can do is expand a slice or decrease a slice or eliminate a slice.
Make a slice bigger. Make a slice smaller.
Absolutely. And that's all you're gonna do. You're gonna you're gonna rob Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah.
You know
Exactly.
the budget.
Well, I mean,
Yeah. Go ahead, Ray.
I'm not surprised. I mean, that's what I figured what was going to happen anyways with this whole situation. I thought because I think he's at the trying to figure it out stage. Like everybody in his corner that he has that are CEOs or businessmen,
Right.
they're out of touch.
Definitely,
You know?
definitely with politics.
Yeah, they're out of touch. They run. I mean, definitely with politics.
Yeah.
These
Especially.
are people who are competitive by nature.
Right.
So they saw that he was the prize-winning horse, if you will.
Right.
So that's what I think. That was his appeal to them. He appealed to them because he is a CEO, and so he was like, "Put your money back me, because I know I can. I have everything in place to win. I have all the mechanisms, and
Right.
adding your money is going to even make it more of a higher probability of me winning."
Right.
So that's what the appeal to them.
Right.
You know, this is a game of, what is it, Dungeons and Dragons.
It's definitely that. And you know what? I've never played
They're a
Dungeons.
bunch of
Yeah.
geeks.
I've never played it. I've never played it.
It's for,
But let me show you
for
what they're
geeks and
dealing
nerds.
with, though. And that's a great way to describe it as Dungeons and Dragons, because here's the thing, right? The presidency is a person that is put in place for the betterment of the people,
Yeah.
right? So that means that everything that you do, it's to it's for the betterment of the people. It's to protect the people. It's to make the people feel safe, and it's to make the people earn a decent wage, right?
Right, basically keeping them motivated,
right,
like a coach.
right, and see, and that's what it is. And see, keep in mind, right, in a perfect world, in utopia, every person's supposed to have a roof over their head and a chicken in the pot, right?
Right.
Right. And the preamble, the first thing that it says is "we, the people." Now,
yeah.
So in other words, a president, may he rest in peace, a president who would fit that role would be, I mean, a staunch candidate would be Carter, that just died, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he took it upon himself to build homes for the impoverished, and Robert, and I mean,
he cared enough. He
right.
cared enough about the people, and to where he put his actions behind it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just all for propaganda.
It wasn't just words. Now, he also did what he could do to try and protect this country and protect the people as well. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
John Kennedy, it would be safe to say, was another one, even though he didn't get a chance to live that long. And Lyndon Baines Johnson just...
LBJ?
Yeah, LBJ. LBJ came with the civil rights and the whole nine, but he just signed off on something that had already been started by Kennedy. Excuse me. So see, lots of times, again, they say a person that pulls you out of shit ain't always your enemy, and a person that pushes you in it is not always. No, a person that pulls you out is not always your friend, and a person that pushes you in it is not always your enemy. Okay, so with that said, Kennedy might have just, he was just doing what automatically makes sense. Now, I'll hold that thought right there. I'm gonna go a little further. All right. Supposedly,
I agree with you on that. So, by the way,
because look, let me show you this. It looks
good.
It absolutely is great optics. And who's the person that benefited the most from that? The person that benefited the most from that in history was Constantine. Constantine saw that Christianity was at a situation where it was too big to stop. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So fuck it. Let me take credit. Let me take credit for it.
Yeah, it was doing more harm than good at that point.
Right. So let me take credit for it. I'm gonna take credit for it. So he took credit for introducing Christianity to, and I'm the last one to get caught up on some religion stuff, but that's history. I can go all the way on history, but on religion. But Constantine, look, and I'm going out saying this. I'm gonna go out on a limb. Many might disagree. Constantine didn't give a shit. He didn't give two fucks about Christianity. But when he saw that that's the way the needle was moving, what did he say? I'm gonna give you Christianity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, and now you're the champion.
That's what I'm saying.
And now you're the champion.
That's what I'm saying. That's why, to the people that are, this probably won't go over well with a lot of people that vote for Trump in my family and who are Christians, but he appealed to them. He gave them because he knew that there was a mass that was going to get him to win.
Right.
He appealed to their issues of what Christians want for the world and what have you, and I won't go into detail, but if you know, you know.
Right.
And, know, it's like, that was going to give you a big backing. You're going to have a big backing with appealing to that demographic of people.
Right.
I say to those people, do y'all really believe that, and this is, because I'm a Christian, I love the Lord with all my heart.
Absolutely. Amen.
So, with that being said, it's like, do y'all really think that he's a Christian? Like, he really loves the Lord? Like, you believe? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, let's really think about that. Like,
yeah.
Do you really believe this man loves the Lord?
Yeah.
To the point where the Bible says that when you accept him in your heart and you love the Lord and you give him all the glory and all the praise, do y'all really believe this man does all it? No, you can't. And if you do, shame on you.
And here's the thing, though. At that level, they start believing that they are God. Right? They start believing that they are God and they deserve worshiping. And that's what I was getting to alluding to is that a president is supposed to be for the people because he was voted by the people, right? Dictators, dictators take and control, but when you have a democracy, the people vote in the president because this is the guy.
And he got the popularity vote.
Right.
That's what's shocking to a lot of people who didn't vote for him. They were like, wow.
Right.
Let me say, it was shocking to some black people who were that were not voting for him.
Right.
To see him get the popularity vote was crushing
to
them. It was like, wow.
Well,
so, which I agree. I'm like, well, but I wasn't surprised though. That's because I'm like, he appealed to what was with the nation. He had enough smart people, like I said. Going back to what I said,
to paint the narrative.
He had enough people.
To paint the narrative, and that's what it's all about.
He knew what to put out there. And be behind the propaganda.
And you know what? I was just getting ready to say that. I was just getting ready to say, there was one important word that I learned from your granddad, right? And that word was propaganda. I learned what propaganda. I learned how to say. I learned what propaganda meant before I knew how to say it properly.
Before you knew how to say it.
Yeah, because I used to say propaganda. I call it propaganda. I call it propaganda. And my dad, I said, Dad, what's that? I said, what's that, Dad? He said, bullshit. He said bullshit. Just like that. He said it just like that with a straight face, and then he explained how it's carried out. So now that goes back to what you're saying with the popular vote. But here's where it's going to be. Here's a dichotomy. No, not the dichotomy. Here's a conundrum. All right. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a English course at the same time too. So bear with us. But the term a conundrum mean confusion, right?
Right.
And here's the conundrum.
You found yourself in a rut.
Yeah.
You're in a rut.
The president is in position to work for the people, but everyone that he's put in place is a CEO. So now CEOs work for the company. They work for the status quo. So now that is the conundrum, because you basically, you set up, you got your left hand working against your right hand. You feel me? Because you can't please the CEO and please the company and please the people at the same time, especially when you say you got to downsize.
No.
Okay, you got to downsize, right? Now, how you gonna please a worker that's already he's working at poverty level, and he's earning at the poverty level, and he can barely make ends meet. But now all of a sudden you get ready to lay him off, because why? You're saying that the company has taken on losses. So the company is losing. So you're saying for the betterment of the company, I need to let you people go. Now here's the thing though. At the end of each fiscal year, you do your budgeting. You do your earnings, right?
Yes,
and
sir.
You look at what.
I will have to work overtime.
There you go.
This past 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had numbers. They had the earnings call.
Yeah, numbers that you needed to meet. You had numbers that you needed to meet.
Meet the numbers.
So now let me say this. Say this. Let's say your projections were to earn $4 million this year, right? But now it's a couple of months off, and you're looking at the fact that you're about 2.9 or 3 billion off your mark, right? So now when that happens, and we're just going to go with this, when that happens, now you're reporting that you took a loss, right? So you counted money that you didn't even earn this year, this fiscal year. And although you're saying that you lost, you made 2.9 billion dollars. So
I'm Dad, I'm literally, you're speaking I feel like you're speaking the scenario that's currently in my
I already know.
wheelhouse right now.
Say, Danny.
That's what
Danny, a lot of people on here. A lot of people on here, man, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let you finish, right? A lot of people look at me, and they look at, I look like this, and they figure, since my house of cards, is tumbling here and there, they figure I don't know what it is that I know, right? And I'm not bragging, Danny. I'm not bragging, but business-wise, before I got incarcerated, I never had a business to fail. I'm embarking on something that's totally different, something that hadn't been done to this degree before. And don't get me wrong, what they say, I'm treading in uncharted waters, right? But I know, I'm smart enough to know this. If a business, Happy New Year's to you, neighbor, all right? If a business says that last year we earned $16 billion, right? This year, we projected that we're going to earn 16 again. We're right at the end of the year, and we only earned 13.5, right? So now you're going to say you lost what, 2.5, right?
Right.
So you're saying that the company has lost. Now you only lost based on your projections. You are in the black, 2.5 billion.
And that loss of funds has not, honestly, it doesn't impact. It's not that impactful as far as business wise to me. Well, I'm talking about from my scenario and my company, because that's what you just explained is what has happened over the last couple of years. Like, my company got its claim to fame during COVID because I work in molecular diagnostics, for biotech.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my brilliant daughter Danielle. She's taking her dad to school. But go ahead, baby.
So yeah, I work in biotech. So my company, COVID, we got to $1 billion status. They had only been in business for, I believe, maybe only 5 to 10 years at that point.
Absolutely.
And so, it was still fairly new for it to reach $1 billion. But now you want to keep that momentum going, right?
Yes.
So, although you made a you bringing in money, but to meet your numbers, you gotta save. You gotta, what is it called? Trim the fat.
You gotta trim the fat. You gotta trim the fat. So now, how do you trim the fat with a corporation?
The low hanging fruit.
and moving that needle. And who gets struck by that needle? The lower hanging people.
Yeah.
You guys are going to do one or two things.
The little people.
The little people.
Guys.
You are going to cut back. You're going to cut back, or you're going to sacrifice the quality of your production, right?
Well, yeah, because now we're moving too fast. We're working like chickens with our heads cut off,
Right.
But that has been the mantra over, the people, like, work fast, fail fast. So, like, basically do a trial, like price norm. Like, I want you. Actually, it goes in the motto of what you told me. Like, don't wait for perfection. Like, just try it now.
Right. Absolutely.
And if we fail, we fail. But we're failing while we're making money.
Right. And see, I always throw that forward, since that happens to be our name. I'm proud of that name.
Before you continue,
yeah.
I want to say this.
Okay.
I know that you have a persona, and people have perceived you in a way that they have expectations of you when you came out, and you had expectations as well.
Absolutely.
You know, which
Absolutely.
is understandably, you should. I mean, it'd be ignorant for you not to have had expectations. Nonetheless, those expectations always, you know, it's like everything that you have expectations of, some come to fruition, some don't.
Some don't.
And that's what's happened. But that doesn't diminish who you are as a core person, who you are as a human, who your soul is, and
Thank you, baby.
the brilliance that you have. Like you are very. Don't take away from who you are and how your mind thinks and how your brain operates.
Right.
You have a lot of information, and you know you are intelligent. And so what I'm trying to say, I guess, is that like don't worry about what everybody else thinks. Where you are now.
Yes.
If everybody thought about that, we all think about that. Let me just be honest. We all that validates us.
Right.
And for anyone to say that it doesn't,
they're lying. They're in denial.
I say bullshit.
Yeah.
But how you move on from that is where it separates, right? That's where it separates the wheat from
the chaff.
Way.
Yeah.
Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So like how you accept that, hey, this is what I am. I am not gonna let it determine. It's not gonna define who I am.
Right.
I know who I am.
Right. Oh, Danny.
And you let it be what it be.
Absolutely. We can't let it fester. And at the end of the day, Danny, I appreciate everything that you said, and it touches my heart. We have conversations in private about this more in depth, and many things that we just can't say over the airways. But one of the truest things that you ever said is that you can't, if you say that none of it, we ignore it, but there's going to be at least a percentage of it that gets through. And when it gets through, it makes you take a good long look at yourself, right? And I'm not saying that you doubt, but sometimes, we all want to be liked. We all want to be liked, and we all want to be...
We all want to be liked, favored. We all
Absolutely.
Want to be uplifted,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and we know that is virtually impossible. So to believe that it isn't, you're lying to yourself. All right? And, there's some place where all of us want to be. But then this is where
we
God...
can't let that stop us, though.
But this is where God intends for us to be right now. Right? Mm-hmm. So where we are, no matter where you go in life, here you are. You know what I mean? So all we could do is keep striving for perfection. That's all we can do. And in the meantime, when we have people such as yourself and such as myself that can understand this, and we understand that certain situations and certain people need grace in those situations. You know what I mean? And I thank you for that, because I'm only human. And we go through. See, a person gets weak from being strong. If you're strong,
we all have our weaknesses.
Absolutely.
And I ain't gonna lie, everyone likes their ego stroked every now and then.
Absolutely.
Put it out there.
Absolutely.
Everyone likes their ego stroked. Everyone likes to be revered or acknowledged for something that they've done that's great.
Yes.
Period. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's just a part of our DNA.
It's part of our DNA.
So,
yep.
Yeah.
Part of our genetic makeup.
But when people mess up, this is where I say the separation occurs when you have to have your ego stroked to actually survive. Whereas when you do have your ego strokes every now and then, it gives you a boost of motivation, but it don't stop nothing. You're already on that path. You don't need that to kickstart you,
No.
so to speak, because you're already on it, and it doesn't make or break you.
Absolutely.
It's just an acknowledgement, and you're like, thank you, and it's like, you know what, I put that in my memory bank, and if anything, I'm gonna use it for my fuel to keep me going.
Absolutely.
Because you're already going. Whereas people like,
Wow.
I need you to stroke my ego for me to get something starting. No.
Right.
Right. You know what I mean? So that's the separation.
Right.
And you're definitely on the side of where it's just like, thank you.
Yes.
You know what?
Yes.
You know, putting it in your memory bank is adding fuel.
Right.
To your engine.
Wow. Dag nabbit. Danny, you ever thought about doing a podcast? Hey guys, listen. Hey, I got these dark shades on, man, because I don't want you to see me tearing up. But you know, look, hey guys, you know, I take no credit. I take no credit for her wisdom. All right, I take no credit, and this one has taught me to be a softer and kinder person in certain areas of life. You know what I'm saying? And then there have been times where I had to wheel her in. So it's a give and take.
Absolutely.
It's a give and take. And, you know, and we love each other immensely. And we don't always agree. But what we always do is understand. And we don't let none of these things that may have caused a wedge between others, the whole bit. You know what? We'll disagree, man. We'll think about it, and we'll talk about it, and then here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are.
That's the beauty of it, though.
Yes.
That's the beauty of our relationship, and I value that so much, more than you know.
Oh,
being able to have someone that is my parent that I can actually have an honest conversation with, and we can disagree, but it don't change no love, no care. You know, it don't change how we treat each other.
Absolutely.
You're my dad, and so
wow,
I have that. You know, I appreciate that.
And you're my princess. You're my princess, and I mean that. I mean that wholeheartedly from the bottom of my heart. And anybody that says you can't teach an old dog new tricks, they're a lie. You know. And and you know, you my old dog. That's right, and you teaching me all kinds of tricks. You know what I mean? And I think that that is what's needed in all relationships. You understand? And you know, I always go off the chart, man, and I give you all kind of crazy ass examples. And it's even anything that's organic needs nurturing, from plants to pets to people. All right, everything needs nurturing. Try watering one plant and not watering the one next to it, and see what happens. Okay, so you know, you have to feed into, and you have to give that attention to, and you have to nurture. So you know, that's what we do, and that's what we do for one another. And sometimes,
absolutely.
I see counseling. I see counseling once a week.
To you, because you're a nurturer.
Oh, Danny, thank you.
And that's something that I know you're not used to. You're not used to being a nurturer.
No.
I want you to see yourself as one.
And you know
the way.
Wow.
Your grandkids light up when you're on the phone. They talk to you. The way we have our communication, and I rely upon you. So that you're a nurturer. So accept that. That's a good. That's a good badge to have.
Wow. I thank you for that. You know, it's always good to receive your flowers when you can smell them, and I've really never had it done before, or I can't say that, but you know, really it touches my heart, and it's something that is definitely needed moving forward. and it makes me a kinder and better person. It doesn't make me so cold and so callous. And when we get into when you live the life that I've lived, it can become very distrusting.
I understand.
It can become very distrusting, and you keep your guards up. But sometimes
I know you do, and I recognize that about you.
Yeah,
I recognize
you
that.
keep your guards up. But I tell you, I get so tired of holding mine up. It just feels so wonderful when I can put them down, and just be forthright. Just be forthright, Danny. And I thank you for that, and I thank you for making me a better person, and helping me to grow, and helping me to sustain these rough times. Because, as I said, I've taken a few knocks. And there are people that there are people that are wishing you to fail, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Dad,
yes.
People that you would never suspect.
I know.
People that you would never suspect.
I know,
that
Danny.
Wish you ill will.
I know.
It's not even where it's vocal, but it's even scarier. It's in their heart.
That is definitely scarier. That is very scary.
They'll deny it. They'll say no.
Yeah.
You ill will.
Yeah.
But heart. In their heart, and you see those people, but God reveals those people to you, and that's what's going to say.
In time, that happens.
Me, and my love for God comes in and gives me the spirit of discernment. And, but it also sometimes feel like you're lonely because the people that God has removed out of your life for your benefit,
yes,
were your core people that you would go to.
They're gone.
And
they're gone. They're gone because this, your mother, your grandmother, and your father, along with many of the others that I've had in my life, all of these people has transitioned. And in a perfect world, had they be here, we would probably still have this conversation, but it wouldn't be so much about us experiencing it, because that support and that love would be there. Yeah, that support and that love would be there.
If all those people that you mentioned, my grandma, my papa, my mom, were here, things would be obviously so much different.
Absolutely.
And the conversation would probably be different, but we would, like you said, we would still have a conversation.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Because we would want to be the pillar. We would want to be the pillar and the source of light for those that aren't experiencing that. And I think that's what we're doing now. I think that's what we're doing now because their spirit still lives within us and it still lives on. And
I was gonna say that I believe that, I believe in God's divine plan. Period.
Yeah. Period.
Hard stop. But I believe, I think I told you a while back when you first were released,
right,
that my mom was prophesied to about your releasing.
Yes.
Literally, Mom was prophesied that you would not serve life, that the sentence that you received. She knew that you were not going to be in there for life.
Amen. Yes, indeed.
And it came to fruition, and so that's why I will always believe in God, serve God, love God.
Yes.
Because I know that you are here because in my life, because of God. So therefore, I know that you and I and our bond and our relationship is meant to be because my mom, when she was here, she was prophesied that too.
Absolutely.
But who knew, that she would, 10 years later, she would be gone from this earth.
Yes. Yes.
When it was prophesied to her.
Absolutely.
So, everything happens in God's divine plan.
Right.
And I trust the plan. I believe in God. I know that things are going to happen. When you follow God's plan, let His will be done, things will happen in your favor.
In your favor. Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
you know what I mean? And that's why I believe that, you know, you and I in our relationship.
And you know, Danny.
Things could have been differently.
Right. You know, your dad has always been an isolationist. I've always been one to shield myself, and I would put up a protective wall around me, and I would only let in those that I deemed trustworthy. Right? And as I said again, most of them are gone. I know that there are still some that's here, but most have transitioned, and they're watching over us, right? But then, you know, we sometimes get hard on ourselves because we have a plan, or we have an agenda, you know. And see, you just said something that there are times I get hard on myself because I have been up and down 3 times, and I've always bounced back, and I've always bounced back immediately. So now that becomes the measuring stick. And see, anything that's improved is measured upon. So now I'm judging. See, it's me. I'm judging.
You're judging yourself.
Yeah, I'm judging myself based on past experiences and the whole bit. But now, what I fail to realize is that I've had a victory that foreshadows anything that I've ever accomplished in my life, except for the birthing of you, right, and your sister, right, and I've achieved that by achieving my freedom, which your mother prophesied, right, and which I fought for, and I look at all the things that I thought that I should have accomplished by now, but I'm overlooking the main thing that I accomplished was to be put in a situation that you see, and you know, and that's where I need to be. I need to be pinched. I need to be, hey, wake up. You know, because.
Well, you know, but Dad, we all. That's what I'm saying. That was my point. We all get in our heads, right?
Yeah.
We all think of we all like. We get in our heads, and there's outside influences that also affect that, right?
Right.
Social media, news, whatever distracts, right? But that's where God is so beautiful, because He has people in place in your life. If you believe and trust in Him, you know, like, you know that God's gonna have people in your life that can remind you and bring you back.
Yes.
Because you were that anchor for me when I was like just like, oh my God, nothing's gonna work out. I'm just in utter turmoil. Like, you know, you were that anchor for me, and so that was needed. And you should be grateful for that. You know what I mean?
I am,
I'm
Danny.
For you.
And
I'm grateful for it.
Yes, and for you to say that, really, you know, when we say kudos, you know, that would be my kudos, because, you know, there's so much that has been lost between us.
Yeah.
You know, through my incarceration and the whole bit. Now, we're not talking about the material things, right? There were many things, and you know, I did a lot of these things, and you know, everybody that was in the streets, one of the first things they say, man, you know, I was hustling for my family, the whole bit, and that was my mantra, because, you know, I had my plans, but then God had others, so all of those things was taken away from me along with my freedom. So he asked, well, what is more important to you? All those worldly goods or your freedom? So I made the decision to put aside all of those worldly things. In other words, what I mean by put it aside, they were already taken from me physically. I had ways
There
to
you go.
earn. Yeah, I
Yeah.
had ways to earn and get that back, but it never worked out, right? So now,
Yeah.
so then at that point, I focused on what he had shown me was most important, my freedom. So I can't take it for granted because it's priceless. And one of the first
It's
things that I
priceless.
experienced about its value and its worth was the fact that I was able to share with you. I was able to embark something that could be of some value to you. You know, and that right there made it worth it. That made everything worth it. I mean, because if that I could wipe a tear away, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Then
Exactly.
it was all worth it. And you know, at the time,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, at the
And
time,
that's more than money can buy.
yes, money can't buy that.
Or money, or yeah.
Money
can't
cannot buy that.
Exactly.
And to see you smile, and to see you share, and to hear you say what you said then and now, you know, it was priceless. It was worth it all.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Well, good.
I would give it all up again to be able to share what we're sharing right now. I would give it all up again. So, you know, sometimes you just got to wake up and smell the coffee yourself. You got to wake up and recognize
Yeah.
and realize. So while I'm dwelling on some of the things that are so insignificant, I need to truly view and focus on what has meaning. And
You're
that's
blessed,
family.
Dad.
And
You're
that's
blessed.
family. Yes. Yes. But just
You're
when I
very
think that
blessed.
I'm
We
not,
both are.
yeah, just when I think that we're not, we are.
Yeah, we are.
You know?
Exactly.
And
And that's why we have each other.
and sweetheart, I just want to say for the audience to hear, man, I love you from the bottom of my heart, and there's nothing I would not do, and I would sacrifice my life again for you.
Oh,
Right.
thank you, Dan.
I would
know
do
you
that.
would. I know you would.
You know, I will sacrifice my life. And you know, it's a new year, and everybody always say, you know, when it's a new year, you know, hey, we got to do this, you know, we got to do it. But you know what? You know what, Danny?
Right.
In
right,
all
right.
my life, I never celebrated New Year with a lot of sentiments. I never done any of that
Okay.
because my thing was I had to keep my head on a swivel because I needed to survive at the same time. But now I can cherish these moments, and I can truly do these things and say these things that, you know, I pray for our health, our love, our embracing of one another, our building of one another,
Yeah.
and our supporting one another. And you know, if a man
Yeah.
doesn't have that, he's on an island all by himself.
Yeah.
You know,
Amen to that.
you know,
amen that.
yes,
I
yes.
too pray for all that.
Yes,
Um,
it's not all about money.
That's why it's not. It's really not. And I think that is a lesson in itself. Not just for us, for many, you know.
Yes,
It's not all about money.
right.
You know, yeah, we want to be successful. Yeah, we want to have abundance, and we want to be fruitful and wealthy. Don't get me wrong. I speak that into existence. That's going to happen. However, it's not just about that, though.
No.
And, you know, and that's the beauty of it, and I love it. So thank you,
And thank you.
and I love you.
Thank you. And I love you too, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, I know, you know, this wasn't planned. And
No, it wasn't.
yeah, but we have conversations, man, that I tell you, this is what you received today. But there was so much that we shared before we went live. And, you know, we have conversations like this all the time with one another. And, you know, I just wanted to give you a glance or a peek over my shoulder just to see. Because no one ever, you know, I talked about my intervention with my brother. You know, I talked about
Yeah. Love it.
relationships and abuse when men really receive abuse, and I told you about
Mhm.
I told you about my therapy and helping me to open up. See, this is a conversation maybe 6 months to a year ago. I would have been almost embarrassed to have over the air like this
For
because,
sure. That's why I'm so proud of you, Dad. I love you so much, man.
oh my
For
gosh,
real. For
thank
this.
you,
Just for this. Being open.
thank you,
I
sweetie,
love it.
thank you, and I think for that you make me better. You know, yeah, you make me better, and nothing is worth more than family. And I know, many people. Look, this past week, this past two holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, I spent with your uncle, and we talked, and there were so many people that did not know that we were brothers. You know what I mean?
Are you serious?
Yeah, there were so many
Oh,
people that did
wow.
not know that we were brothers, and this, everybody thought that I was everybody. I don't know. I don't want to be compared to Jesus, but everybody might have thought that I was just dropped down from another planet, and I didn't have any
Like, where you
family,
come from?
right? And didn't know that I had people that loved me and people that I loved.
Mm.
And it was an awakening because I realized that I had gone through life not expressing and opening up about my love for family. You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it just
Now,
made
I wonder how, I mean, and that's probably what brought out the cold and callousness in you, Dad. Like, I
yeah,
wonder how, you know, you had to, be cold and callous because you were like cutting them off, you know?
absolutely, absolutely, and you know, to separate, to cut ties always was easy
Hmm.
because I would never lock in. And
Yeah.
I would never
That,
lock in.
that was a liability if you
Right,
locked in. That was a
right,
liability. Yeah, I get it.
right. And I realized that, that should not have been with my family. You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
that should not have been with my family. And for people to say that I know that I've met now, that I've been knowing, when I say met, that I've been reacquainted with, but we've been knowing of each other for almost 40 and 50 years. And I would say, I would
Hmm.
mention the name Daryl, I would mention the name Dan, and they'd say, man, those guys were your brothers? They say, those guys were your brothers? And, and you got so many people that don't know that I have kids. I have
Yeah.
offspring, and yeah, they're
Yeah.
like, so, man, this is really sharing the human side, the side that shows that we're
But
vulnerable.
it's beautiful. I
Yeah,
love it. I love it. It's
that we're
beautiful. Embrace
vulnerable,
it
right, and that we have a heart.
because that's
hmm
what you say. Do
I,
we have a
I
what?
said that we have a heart, you know.
Yeah, and that you don't have. And this is where this, this is something that you can embrace as this is a blessing. Like, this is your. Who knows? This may be the reason why God gave you a second chance, because to have that sense of family, to have that value of that is priceless, that no money can buy.
Right,
That feeling
right,
that money can't buy.
right,
To reconcile with your brother, to build a relationship with me and your children
right,
and your grandchildren,
absolutely,
because that was, if the law said so, you would not have that opportunity. But God said no. It said differently.
absolutely,
So
Danny.
there's a reason, you're out here doing what you need to do for your family. But I also want you to understand, like, we don't want you just for what you could do and be for your money. Enjoy your family. We
Absolutely,
want you here because who you are, to us.
absolutely,
You're my dad. You're my children's grandfather. You're Uncle Dan's brother. Like, that's why we love you.
thank you.
Not who Tony Ford was. What
Right.
he used, you know what I mean? When
Right.
the money Tony Ford brought. Yeah, Tony
Right.
Ford is smart. He's a great businessman, and Tony Ford gonna be okay.
Yes,
Tony
ma'am.
Ford gonna
Thank
be
you.
okay.
From your lips
You
to
know.
God's ears. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, Tony
Yes,
Ford gonna
indeed.
be okay. However, Tony Ford is much more than just Tony Ford. Tony
Yes.
Ford is a father. He's an uncle. He's a brother. He's a cousin. He's a granddad. He's all those things. So
And
embrace that, Dad.
yes, and he cares
And
about
an
the
uncle.
people.
He a CEO.
Right. Well, one that thinks about the people as well. Now, everybody
Absolutely.
don't
There you
always
go.
agree. Everybody don't always agree with my tactics, and I get that, you know, and I'm softening up to that as well. And one quality that I've developed uh, over the years, and that is the ability to listen, right?
Yes.
Because whenever in the past, excuse me, in the past, whenever I would sit down and there would be an opposing party, I would immediately shut down.
Yeah,
And
you would go on a defense.
yeah,
You
I would
just go on a
immediately shut
defense.
down.
I remember that.
Right,
You don't do that anymore.
right. I would immediately shut down. So, no matter how much a person may disagree, I take into consideration that there may be there's something there that was a blind spot. There's either something there that I did not see. Right. There's something that I did not see, or something that I did not explain more thoroughly. Right? And once you do that, once you listen, and once you become objective, and once you can articulate and explain what it is that you truly feel and understand, then the sky's the limit. Everything can be worked out. Right?
Absolutely.
Everything can be worked out. Everything can be worked out. But when you shut down and you shut off, you're leaving a lot on the table. Right?
Yeah.
You're leaving a lot on the table. So, and as I said earlier, a broke clock is right 2 times a day. So with that being the deal, that's where you grow. That's where you grow, and I found that I've become a much better person when I listen,
Yes, Dad.
when I pay attention,
And what I can say that you are following that, at least with me, to a T. You listen. We've had some, uncomfortable conversations, and
Yes.
we'll have more.
Yes.
But what I love about our uncomfortable conversations is that I have the space to express myself respectfully, and you listen, and you also, I feel like I hope I do give you the space to respond.
You do.
And that's the beauty of it. We have everybody. That is rare. Let's just put that out there.
Yeah.
Whether it be you, whoever it is, whether it be your father, your parent, or whomever, having an uncomfortable conversation is just, it's hard to have. But when someone allows you to have that space to have that conversation, that is rare. So I appreciate that, because I feel comfortable if something upsets me, I feel comfortable saying, Dad, look, take this out, and having a conversation.
Right.
I really do.
Right. And look, in most of those situations where we've had those talks, I've learned. You know what I mean? There's so much that I've taken away from that. And when it appears that you're seeking advice and you're seeking solace and comfort, well,
yeah,
when it's all over, I realize that I may have gotten just as much, if not more, from it than you did. You know,
Right.
I walk away.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah,
That's the beauty of it.
I walk away feeling whole. I walk away feeling complete, and, and you know, that's something that I have not been used to. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and I love
I
the
get
way,
it.
and I'm not saying challenging to be just indifferent or whatever, but you know, I appreciate it.
No,
Yeah,
we have this. Yeah, we
yeah,
can
I
always see
appreciate
eye to eye.
it when you challenge me. I appreciate it, and you call, you know,
Yeah.
you call me to the table. You call me to the table. You say, Dad, all right, explain that. You know,
But
you
vice
say,
versa too, though,
yeah,
Dad. You
yeah,
know, we should able to.
yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean, Dad? What do you mean when you say that? You know,
Yeah.
well, Dad, I don't necessarily agree, and here's why. You know what I mean? And now,
Yeah.
you know, all right, good morning. You know, I better, you know, while I'm trying to make a point, and a point that has some legs, I better sit down and I better truly listen to what it is
Yeah.
that you're expressing. Because see,
Yeah.
it's not so much in the message directly, it's in the meta message. Same to you, brother. It's in the meta message. You follow me? And that's where, and you know what? They say that's where God lies. God lies in between the pauses of a sentence. God lies in between two words. It's that moment of quiet that the truth is being told. You understand?
Absolutely.
You know,
I agree.
you know, have you ever had, I mean, sometimes when you're talking to someone and you say something and they're quiet and it's almost as if they're floored.
They're processing it.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, and that's where the truth lies, because guess what? They did not know the answer off the cuff. They did not give you bullshit. You know, they sat back and they thought about it and they processed it, and then they gave you what they took away from it. You know, and
I've literally
Yeah.
have said that, like, in conversations with people, I've gone quiet because I was like, I need to process this, but I've said it,
right,
and it's the truth.
right, right, and you've done it time
I'm processing
and
it.
time again.
Yeah, I'm like, this is like, they made a point,
Right.
that I need to process.
Right. You know, I'm gonna say this, and I'm just about done with the cigar here. But look,
Okay.
I went to an event the other night, and they had 3 ladies there that I've known, and they said they've seen me advertise Baton oil, and you know, they had reached out to some people to get at me so they could purchase it, because they didn't know how to reach me directly, or the whole bit. Well, anyway, they asked. They said, no, they suggested. They said, you know, there was a lady selling her earrings and her jewelry at this event, and they said, well, how? They said you should have brought your Baton oil here. I said, well, I didn't know that was being done, the whole bit. They said, well, how are you doing as far as marketing? And I told her, I was honest with them. I said, hey, look, you know, I'm doing my best. And I said, pretty soon, you know, I'll have my team together, and I have my family, and my grandson is going to handle a lot of the marketing and everything. So they said, well, Tom, they said, you know, I hear you talk and everything, man. You sound like a good bullshitter. The whole I said, well, hey, you know what? See, that's not who I am. You know, and
No,
see,
not at all.
and I told them that I am not a great marketer. And the reason I am not a great marketer is because I can't bullshit. You know, I am not a good bullshitter. And when I tell you, whatever I tell you and it comes out of my mouth, 9 times out of 10, I want it to be the truth. And sometimes we make the truth, we make the truth sound too simple and too good. And then you say, well, okay, nah, that sounds like bullshit. And I'm self-conscious about that. Right.
And you get offended by that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I had gotten offended by that to a degree.
You
But
take it personal.
Right. So that's when I let them know. And then I explained to them why I feel that I'm not a great marketer. And they understood because they listened to what I had to say. And they said, you know what, I feel that. I get it. I get it. Some people are just great marketers. I'm not. I'm not.
And here's the thing, Dad. Especially in this culture, in this day and age, you can be a great marketer and scam people.
Absolutely.
We could be. You understand? Like, and out to the people if they're listening, like, you could be scammed easily.
Absolutely.
On any platform.
Period.
But someone who gives you something that is authentic and true, now when it's grassroots especially, and it's coming up, it's looked at as like, oh, this is that's a scam.
Yes.
And that's crazy, because I feel like back in the day we would, back in the day when I say I'm 42, so back in the day, in my day.
Now you're telling my age.
You rely. You relied upon the truth and what people, the actual, like the grassroots efforts of things versus, it looks legit. That's the problem right now. Everything is about appearance, right?
Everything.
You can mask over things. You can literally buy a website for any product, and it would look, oh my God, this is so authentic. Put your information in and get scammed.
Absolutely.
Hand to God, my friend, over the weekend, over the Christmas holidays, was scammed. She was ordering stuff off of Amazon, and a website took her. They were like, "Hey, you need to have your packages. You failed to pay something for the delivery fee. Please pay the difference in the amount."
Right.
It was a very nominal amount. My point is to say, you can't let what the appearance is of what is being presented to you to determine or be a factor of if it's authentic or not.
Absolutely.
It's more of one, you're either going to try it because you're going off of the review of the people,
right,
and the word of mouth of the people, or two, you're going to do it because you trust the person who is giving it to you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I feel like you have a proven, like, you're not going to sell some bull. So that's why I'm glad that you said that they listen to you, because you're not going to put out there and be like, I'm not putting myself up, my reputation, my integrity. That's the thing, it's like we're about integrity and things like that. And
right.
So people that have integrity, they get shitted on the most.
Right. Absolutely. And
you know what I'm saying, Dad?
Right.
So
I know exactly what you're saying. And
yeah.
And I get defensive. I've had someone say that with Sonetquity, I had it where we were asking for people's bank account information so they can be defrauded. And I'm saying, hey, look, you sign up, anything that you purchase over social media, you have to if you're buying something, you have to share, you have to take that step across the line in order to make that transaction happen, right?
Right.
So I'm no different from Amazon. So why you aren't thinking this about Amazon?
Every time you put your card number in to a portal of what you're purchasing, you are at risk.
Absolutely.
Let's just be honest. Like, that's where we are right now in this day and age.
Absolutely.
No lie.
Absolutely.
Amazon, Walmart, Target, all the
shit.
fucking,
Neiman Marcus.
But all of the
yeah, Neiman Marcus.
Once you put your personal information in, and I'm just talking about your name and address, you are a target at that point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And one thing's for sure, when we built this system, Danny, with your help, right, with your guidance, your tutelage, to sign on and everything, a person had to submit because they had to file a 1099. So in order to file a 1099,
Exactly.
you have to submit your social security number. And what we share with the
Right.
public, and remember when Firestorm was building our system, we instructed them that we're not saving this in our database. So in other words,
They don't allow
Right.
us to. That's why we're able to put that secure. There's a default on the website when Sonetquity.com was up. It said your information was safe and secure.
Right.
That's not, yes, people, but that's again, you're every time you put your information in, you're at risk. So yes, people can, and then now with AI,
Right.
oh, sky's the limit of how much defrauding can be happening.
Absolutely.
But to your point, they wouldn't even allow us. It is the software does not allow for any personal information such as social security numbers and or bank account information to be saved.
Absolutely.
What only is saved was their name, what they registered as, like
Yes.
their name and address,
Yes.
and that was it, and their password and those such things. But that's what any legit website.
Absolutely.
We were very legit up. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that was a really well ran website and system.
Absolutely. And we did that for the people. We did that for the people. We took because they wanted to save
Yep.
all that information. They wanted to, in
Mhm.
other words, they wanted to they wanted to data mine all of that information. And who knows what they do with this information on the back end. But we firmly said we do not want them to maintain and mine that information, making it
Right.
more secure for our members and everyone that signs up. Now, we could have easily said, hey, you know what, since everybody else is doing it, just do it, no problem. But we went out of our way to say, no, don't do it.
Yeah, because we're dealing with money. People,
Yes.
their finances, everybody is skeptical.
Yes.
So that was one of our safeguards, or one of our, I guess, assurances that if you will, to say that, like, we're not trying to, no.
Right.
It's not about that.
Right. And that made us feel a whole lot better about everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I'm going to get on with my day. There's a lot of football ahead. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm getting ready to take me a nap because I'm
Yes, yes. I appreciate you. I appreciate you spending this time with us. I appreciate you spending this time with me. And this is a wonderful way to bring in the new year. And it's one of the best ways that I've had in a long, long time. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I love you from the bottom of my heart. And keep on keeping on. Sweetheart, I hope to see you soon. All right?
I love you too.
I love you, baby. Thank you.
I love you so much.
All right, baby.
All right.
right.
Enjoy your day.
Thank you. You
And
do
I'll
the
talk to you
same.
later.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show today. I want to thank you all who tuned in. There's so much more that I wanted to say. I wanted to also promote our Batana oil and show you what the authentic, real Batana oil looks like. That's what the Batana oil looks like. 100% raw, 100% pure. Go to our website at www.gloosuds.com. That's glowsuds. That's how it's pronounced. glowsuds.com. This here's the 4-ounce bottle. This is the 4-ounce jar, rather. So, kick off your new year with purchasing your Batana oil for your hair growth. This is also recommended by Dr. Sibi, and is very good for cancer patients and the growth of their hair. So we want to start the year off right with letting you know go to our website and purchase your Botana oil. And go to our website, our bookstore, and purchase your read. Not just this book, any book that you may care to read. Go to our site at www.bookshop.org/shop/Sonetquity. All right? You all enjoy. Have a wonderful New Year's Day. And we look forward to you in the future. Thank you. May God bless. Peace.